Oh, hi everyone. It's live. All right, sorry we're getting started a little bit late. Hi everybody out there. Thank you guys all for coming. We try and be super respectful of your time because it's a Saturday morning. That's why we have them early. I know when I post 8:30, I get like the text like, really, Lauren, 8:30 on Saturday? But that's so you guys can go hang out with your families and all of that afterwards, because that is number one always on our team is friends, family first. So we want to be respectful of your time. So we'll try and keep it around an hour 20, because we actually are going to do a basic training. So we have a lot of new distributors in the room. So we'll do a quick basic, how do you share AdvoCare training. And then we're going to have some ladies that were at our huge national success school last week share kind of some takeaways from that. We'll talk about some of the new products, answer any questions you have, but we want to focus more on letting them share a little bit about what they took away from that and kind of bring a little of it back to you guys. It's kind of hard to bottle that up and share, but we'll do our best. So let's start with a basic training. I know you guys have your journals, so that's good. And if you guys don't know our stories too, we share it at our mixer and everything, but real quick, Greg and I have been doing AdvoCare for 3.5 years, only products for that first year, and we just shared it kind of here and there. People asked us about it. We lost 90 pounds together, so obviously when you lose that kind of weight, you want to share it with people. 30 were mine, 60 pounds of his, so let's give him the credit for that. So we use our discount. When you sign up to become a distributor, you can just use your discount, and that is awesome, and that's what we did. We got a couple friends on product, like Ryan was one of the first ones, and she joined us, and little things like that. And, we earned a little bit of an income, and it was enough to help pay for our products. At the time, I was staying home, covered groceries, gas, made me feel good to be helping people. And now, our second year, we got a little bit more intentional with it, and that's when we decided we're going to start. Actually, hi, Jenny. I think all my live things go, hi, Jenny.
Way to go, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
You're doing well.
She's here. That's what's important. But we got more intentional that second year, and that just meant we started to do kind of things like this. Honestly, the training part, we didn't really start doing until this past year. So we're growing right along with you all. This is not anything we ever thought we'd get involved with. And now that there's so many of us who feel the way we do about it, it's we feel so committed to everybody, and we love doing trainings and our mixers. So we got more committed. This is actually now something that has provided our family something that if Greg did want to step away from his corporate job, he actually could, just because of AdvoCare, which is absolutely shocking, that there's something like this that exists with part-time efforts, including our children, including our friends, and it's pretty incredible. But, Greg likes what he does, and we don't want to ever share these and say, hey, do AdvoCare so you can walk away from your jobs. That's not why we do AdvoCare. People all have a different purpose for doing this, whether it's, I heard this at Success School, whether it's family dynamic changing money or life changing money. And family dynamic changing money could be an extra $500 a month. And in AdvoCare, that's very simple to do with everybody's help. Family dynamic money means that it takes stress off your shoulders. It's something extra that you can say yes to your kids. You can save it up and go on a family vacation that maybe you weren't able to do before. And then the people that get real serious about this, there's life-changing income to be had. It does take intentional effort, and that's what we're going to kind of share today with all of you guys. How do you do AdvoCare if you want to do this? If you don't, and somebody told you to come listen to this, that's okay too, because like I said, we only did this, we just started sharing AdvoCare in 10 and that's okay too. So we're just going to kind of share that. So let me, we call this our PALS training. Normally we go pretty in depth with this, but we're going to run through it because I really want you guys to hear more from them today and get some new things, because I know a lot of you have already heard this before. But this is the basics, and this is how you share AdvoCare. We ignored this our first year, and our business did nothing. Our second year, we still kind of ignored it, and our business really didn't do anything either. So as soon as we started doing everything we said on here, that's when things started to take off, because we became coachable, teachable, and duplicatable. We made ourselves what we were doing something that anybody else could do. And that's so important to this, because I was just talking to somebody about, friends that are gym owners or friends that, have this and that. You look at them and you're like, of course they're doing well with advocare. They're like this buff person that owns a gym and they sell it on their shelf. That's not what advocare is for. Yes, some people do really well with that, but anybody can do advocare, and that's why we share it this way. So the PALS training is kind of just getting off to the right start. Each letter stands for something. The first thing, the P, is your purpose. If you're doing advocare, there has to be a reason behind it. Otherwise, you're just gonna jump out of bed and not even think about advocare in the morning. And we want you to have a purpose behind this. And I heard a great training at Successful Leadership. Some people, their purpose is about what you want in life. What if you think about what you don't want anymore in your life? I don't want debt anymore. I don't want to spend another minute away from my kids past 6 o'clock at night. I don't want to pay $2,000 a month anymore for my kids' daycare. I don't want to feel unhealthy anymore. Whatever that is going to really guide you to your purpose in advocare, and pinpoint that. And here's another thing, your purpose is going to ever evolve too. So our purpose when we started was to lose weight. It was a great purpose at the time for what we wanted. It has since, completely grown out of control what our purpose in doing advocare is. So sometimes you hear these larger than life things that people want to accomplish with advocare, and you're like, I don't feel that way yet. It can evolve, and it grows as you're around the culture more, as you're around these people, as you show up more. You start to see what it's doing for your friends, your next door neighbors that are real local to us, and all of a sudden you start to dream bigger for yourself. And when that starts to happen, that's what fuels you to kind of start sharing advocare with people. So your purpose, really think about it, circle it, Leslie's gonna share a vision board. It's a great way to start thinking about I have bigger plans for myself. Why am I stuck in what I think I have to do? What if advocare really could make it so I can do some greater things with my life, and have a purpose? So think about that, because your purpose is what's going to make it so you're not upset when people say no to you. Your purpose is what's going to get you out of bed and be like, maybe I'll talk to 2 people about advocare today, because, what harm can that do? It's going to get me closer to my purpose. So this you could do a whole training on. In fact, we're having a special guest soon from corporate that we're going to have him come out and do a whole thing on vision and finding your purpose. So that is everything in advocare, is your purpose. The A stands for advisor. How many of you are advisors in this room? Okay, so these ladies, and Wayne back there I know is an advisor too.
Ladies in waiting.
Ladies in waiting. We'll talk about that too. We're working, anyone who's married, boyfriend, anything, there are so many men who do advocare. Our Sparkheads group needs to start representing better on the men. Because I think Success School, we had 50-something women and 6, 7 men. If all of our spouses came, that we would have represented with over 100 people, and that's the way it should be. If you don't, that's okay. There are really great guys in advocare too. You can go meet them. They've got great yeah, exactly. So advisor is kind of where the business opens up. You're going to start to get a 40% discount on your products for life. You never have to earn it again. That's where you start to get paid 5 ways instead of just 1 way in advocare. It's going to really incentivize you to start growing a team of people. We, at where we're at, we're not out there trying to get as many people on 24-day challenges as possible. That's what a distributor would do. An advisor is somebody that really starts to cultivate and help get someone like Ryan up and running. And how can we help her? And you get little parts of her starting to do well. She gets the majority of it because she's out there doing the work with her team. But you start to earn overrides and leadership bonuses and vacations. And they're real, it's Jenny just started with us 10 months ago. I mean, the business, even less maybe. December, and just earned herself an all expenses paid vacation.
She's chewing.
No, please.
And Chewy's live.
Right, he's gonna make this go over by an hour.
And he might
He's
take
people. So Jenny just earned an all expenses paid vacation to Lanai, Hawaii, 4 seasons. Everything paid for. It's incredible. You've already gone on a vacation. You got a vacation. You got a vacation. Everyone gets a vacation. But that's, Advocare really, I mean, it's crazy. We've traveled so many places we would have never gone if it weren't for Advocare. None of that opens up until you're an advisor. So our first goal when you get started in Advocare, if you want to do this, is to get to the advisor level. And you know, just like a 24-day challenge, we take baby steps to kind of reach our health goals. The business works the same way, so we want you guys to take baby steps to growing your business. You can go fast, you can go slow, just like your results. And advisor is number one step always, because it opens up a whole new world of Advocare. We sit down with you and kind of come up with an advisor plan. After you become an advisor, we want to sit down with you and kind of map out what we can do with you to help you grow your business. So that's that. They came out with a new way to get to advisor. It used to be you had to get to $3,000 worth of volume. You had limits and minimums you had to hit. You had a short amount of time to do it. They've now done it that you need to get $2,000 worth of volume in a 6 pay period. So we work in pay periods, so 2 weeks long. In any 6 chunk of them, which is 12 weeks, if you get $2,000 worth of retail volume, you become an advisor for life. So you could do 100, 0, 1,000, 500. If it equals 2,000 at the end of that, you're an advisor. And it's awesome because all that is you either buy your own personal purchases, which probably add up to that in the course of 6 pay periods either. You just don't realize that it's happening. Or you share with a friend, you know, and you start to help them feel as great as you do, and that volume counts to you getting to advisor. Some people are ready to do this, and they don't want to take that 6 week or 6 pay periods to get to the starting line. They want to start at the starting line from day one and get intentional with their business and have some momentum and really have an advisor story is a big part of this too. When people ask you, how'd you get to advisor? Oh, you know, it took me like 9 months and I kind of just like bought stuff here and there.
Well, that's our story.
Yeah, it is our story. We use our advisor story and how not to get to advisor. So, I would have someone call me, she'd be like, you're only $300 away from advisor. And I'd be like, that's cool, I don't know what that is. And I would let it slide and I would start all over again. I just didn't know what I didn't know. So there are people who want to bless you. There are people who want to kind of bypass all of that and they want to get to advisors. So they put $2,000 worth of retail product in their cart. You get a 30% discount right off the top. So it's a $1,400 investment in your business. And then they retail out products face to face, you know, and they make that 30% profit. And plus then they have momentum. They have people that are local to them that they can coach through those challenges. Then when people say, hey, how'd you get to advisor? I got to advisor, you know, how else would you get to advisor? I got to advisor. So they started, hi. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of Cathys.
We have a lot of
We got 4 Cathys. This is really funny. Yay, 2 Cathys. So whatever makes most sense for you, we will help you. You don't have to use 6 pay periods. You could use 2. You could use 3. You could do it all from the beginning. But getting to advisor is so important. It starts you off there. Right after that, you get to work on getting to a rookie bonus, which is $500. Our team is so great at getting them. So if that's something you want for yourself, get to advisor faster. Then we'll start helping you earn 500 of it back. So it's really important to get with the person who brought you here and kind of come up with an advisor plan if you aren't one yet. Okay, that just shows examples. So then the L of the PALS, the L is a list. We always work off lists in Advocare. This is a business about people. So if you're not thinking of people and how you can help them, then you're not really doing Advocare. You know, it's a great way to really sit through and think about people you can help. You know, not a list of people I'm gonna pounce on and sell Advocare to. It's a list of people that I want to help, you know, and maybe they need help with their energy and they're crazy about Monster energy drinks and soda. You know how much Spark is gonna change their life alone. People that have extra weight that they want to lose or always talking about it. They're trying all these different things all the time. You can help them. You know, this has become, I was that person and Advocare was like the end all, you know, it ended that for us. So we're really passionate about helping people who have gone through that cycling of dieting their life and not getting to where they want to be, you know, learn about Advocare. So think of that. Think of people who are already fit and active and in the gym. I knew that about Leslie and I could have looked at Leslie and been like, oh gosh, that girl's like, why would she take me seriously? Like I barely work out and this girl's at the gym every day. And because I knew that that's why I thought of Leslie and why she'd be great at this, because she represents, our performance line and our overall lifestyle. She's great at that. So think of people who already have that and might want to learn about Advocare and share their lifestyle with other people. And then also think about people that would just be great at this or have a need for this, because the founder of our company always says we make the best products, but our second product is our opportunity. So if we're not sharing the opportunity with people, we're leaving out half of our product. That's half of Advocare is this opportunity. By now you can't buy any of this stuff off of shelves or at a gym or whatever. It's from a person. So why not let that person know that they could be the person that gets to share this with people? So we say, write it says 10 people, write as many as you can, like for each category, and then go in and maybe circle a few names of people that you think would be really great at this. And Ryan always says, people you want to do this with. I mean, I get to work with one of my best friends. Like, how fun is that? We get to travel together. We get to spend more time together. If you want to spend more time with somebody, invite them to do Advocare with you, because you are kind of forever tied from that point on. So make sure you want to choose wisely. But honestly, though, think of people you want to spend more time with. They always say in Advocare you get to do life with people. They're not messing around. I mean, you really get to be with these people a lot. So it's awesome. Think of the people you want to share Advocare with. I'm not saying to take that list and start like cold calling all of them, and you have something that you're working off of, and it's a way to follow up. It's a way to chart your Advocare business. Like, am I speaking to enough people? And we're going to kind of touch on that a little further too. So your list is so important. I would put that as step one, as like your to do. If you don't have your list already, grab a journal, start jotting people's names down, go through your Facebook, look at people. Like, they're putting messages out to the world every day that they need help with. If you can kind of realize that Advocare is a solution for some of the biggest problems in our country right now, even just positivity, oh my goodness, like, think of those people and look at their most recent status update even. I bet you 9 out of 10 said something that is either complaining about something or putting out to the world personal information that you can help them just by sharing Advocare with them. So start looking at people. This is our success system, and I'm going to have Kirsty touch on a couple of these topics that she's learned while at Success School. This is the wheel of our business. If you're not doing this, you're really not doing Advocare. So this is how it works. When I said that we didn't do Advocare the right way our first 2 years, it's because we ignored this. We were the very unsuccessful system. This is what the leaders in Advocare have been doing for over 20 years. This is the only way. If you're successful in Advocare, it's because you're doing a lot of this. So I'm going to have Kirsty come up and kind of talk about what the one-on-one and two-on-one are specifically, and then I'll pick back up at the mixer and all of that. But is that good? Yeah? Get to run this.
And I wrote down a ton of stuff because timing-wise, we could literally probably talk on each one for just an hour by itself. So I have bullet points, basically, if this computer will turn on. And kind of some questions, I think, just for you guys to start off with, because I think for the one-on-ones, we struggle with several fears, right? And I think it's good to show in this room, and even if you're watching, to think about these things. Who here has had results with products or financial aspect with Advocare? Who here? Raise your hand. Okay. Who here knows someone who has had results with Advocare, either products or financial? Okay. Who here believes that they can help their loved ones with products and or earning some supplemental income? Okay. Who here would love to be the one responsible for changing someone's life for the better, whether it's this or anything else?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Right. So, and then who here by trade is a salesman? Okay, look around. 3 people, 4 people. So our biggest fear is we don't want to come off salesy, right? That's our biggest fear when we're going to talk on one-on-ones. Oh, I don't want them to think this about me or whatever. 3 people in this room are in sales. All the rest of us, we're not salesy. So why is that even a concern? You just said you want to help people. You know that it's helped people. You know that it's helped you. So why not be able to share that with passion and strength, right? That's all we're doing here. We're not in the business of convincing anybody of anything. You're just sharing what it's done for you and then, letting them decide. So I put here, yes, we have products that people can buy from us off of our site. So we're not saying, no, we're not selling anything. Come on, we are selling something. There is a product that you're buying, but we are giving someone hope to get to the goals that they're wanting to get to. The things that they are struggling with in their life, we have a solution for that. So that's where your one-on-one comes in. We're not talking straight up, Sparkhead has 20 vitamins and minerals, and it has this and it has that, and look, and Vanna White with that's salesy, right? But when you come from the heart of what it's done for you or your loved ones, or, I brought in $1,200 last month and I was able to pay for my daughter's birthday party. These are things that connect to people. I'm not selling something. I'm letting people know just simply what it's done for us. At Successful, they said, if you're fueled by passion and courage, you can get outside of the box that you put yourself in. And I wrote that down because it's something that I think we all do to ourselves. We second guess ourselves and we say we're not good enough, or we don't know what we're talking about, or we're not versed in all the ingredients. I don't know what sucralose is. I don't know, all of these things, right? Get yourself outside of that and look at the passion, the courage that you have within you and where you're wanting to go with this and what you truly believe Advocare can do for you.
Can you read that again?
Yes. If you're fueled by passion and courage, you can get outside of the box that you put yourself in. Yeah. And the next thing they said is emphasize your why, not your what. So there's a lot of trainings out there outside of Advocare that talks about if you're looking to build a business, let's say you have a small business in anything, when you want to bring someone along with you, you're not saying, I have this thing, I want this is what it is, this is how you're going to talk to them about why you're doing this, why you feel that this is going to be the solution for you and your family, why you got on a 24-day challenge, why you're wanting to share this now with people. That's what people are going to be intrigued by, not necessarily convinced. Yes.
Can you repeat that one too?
Yes. Emphasize why, not what. And you can even Google, I forget, it's like the power of why, or start with your why, something like that. And it's a great.
Simon Sinek.
Thank you. And it's a great, it doesn't have anything to do with Advocare, but you can absolutely, bring that in. And he talks a lot about companies that failed or succeeded. And they were both parallel at the same time, working towards the same goal. Why did one succeed? Why did the other one not? And it all comes from the fuel, the passion, the courage that these people had to share their why with people, not so much about what it's going to do for them or what the product is. So I loved that. And then, so I said, with that in mind, we have 3 responsibilities that are not difficult, but they might require some of us to step outside of our comfort zone just a little bit, or maybe a whole lot. I know one of my friends in this room right now, she can talk to strangers like no problem, right? My mom's same way. She can talk to anyone in the grocery store. I am not like that. I'm very introverted. When I don't know somebody, I recoil. I'm even like little jittery, like sitting up here talking. It's just kind of that part of me. I'm not used to it. I'm not comfortable with it. But the more and more and more and more and more that we work on those things, and we're reading this book right now, Chop Wood, Carry Water, he talks about how important becoming excellent in the minor little details of what you do in your daily life, and that is going to result in success. So it can be boring, it can be mundane, it can be like, oh, I gotta do that again. But when you can become excellent, not perfect, we're never aiming for perfect. That's not even possible, right? Excellence. Aim for excellence. So if you can become excellent in the little things that you're doing throughout your day, one-on-ones is one of them. That is where you'll see the success. That's where you're going to start to see the growth in your business and in yourself through this process. So 3 responsibilities. 1, use product consistently. You are a product of the product, and you're showing people a lifestyle, not a diet, not a quick fix, not I did this thing once, and now I'm trying to tell you 6 months later. You are constantly using the product because you know what it's doing for you and how you feel. I put here, how do you speak Spark with strength if you ran out weeks ago and you're running through Starbucks drive-thru and reaching for a Red Bull, right? If you're, hey, you should try Spark. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Red Bull and Red Bull. Yeah, you can't speak strength doing that, but if you build the products into, I put like a grocery list, and someone at Successful said this too. Advocare products become part of your grocery list items. You know, there are things that we walk into the grocery store and we have to buy, and it's like, it's a little more expensive than we want to, but you have to buy food, right? Same thing. Build that into your budget, even if it's, you know, a box of Spark every 2 weeks or the Performance Elite, whatever it is, build it in to what you can do. And part of, you know, earning some additional income, that can help pay for your products, even just that. So if you can do $300 extra a month and sharing Advocare, now you have $300 extra product that you can be putting in and building into your budget, into your grocery list. So I love that they said that. 2, share your 30-second story with as many people as you can. This is a powerful tool, but questions need to be asked first. And how do you know how to connect with somebody if you haven't asked them what Advocare can do for them? So again, part of this is where your one-on-one comes into play. You're using products, you're feeling good, now you're gonna share one-on-one. If you're having a conversation with a girlfriend, you're not gonna just walk up and say, I've been doing this thing and I wanna share with you, and oh my gosh, I lost 40 pounds, and Leslie doesn't care if I lost 40 pounds. That's not gonna help her. It's not gonna help her in her goals. So by asking her questions, hey, how you doing? How have you been? How are your kids? Oh my God, that has to be so draining a lot of times. Like, man, twins, that's crazy. So what are you doing for energy? How do you do that? Oh, coffee, 10 cups of coffee a day. Oh my God, really 10? Oh my gosh, I totally identify with that. You know what? I found something that has changed my life. It's called Spark. Have you ever heard of Spark? You know, no, what's that? Oh my gosh, I went from 10 cups of coffee down to 1 Spark a day. It lasts me 9 hours. I feel awesome. Notice I didn't say it's 20 vitamins and minerals and it has the same cup of caffeine. All of that, the what, it doesn't matter. The why, oh my gosh, I feel so good. You know, these are all factual and part of our story, you know, real things that are part of what we do. But if I'm sharing weight loss with her, great for you. That's awesome. Doesn't mean anything to her. So connect with them, ask a ton of questions. When you get into your 30-second story, practice. Again, the details are where you're gonna see success. So practice your 30-second story. Where I was, what I saw, what happened, and where I'm going. And we could talk for a long time just about this, but practice. We have sat with a timer and we've practiced it. I wrote it down and set a timer, reading it in my head, 2 minutes, go back, cut. Okay, here, a minute, okay?
She even calls me and she left me a 30-second story on my voicemail just to speak it out loud.
Right, just to speak it out loud. It's true, you know. And again, am I perfect? No, but we're not aiming for perfection. Excellent. So I do that, and I'm shaky and nervous because again, that's out of my comfort zone to call and leave a message about my 30-second story. But we work on it over and over. So when someone says, what is Advocare? Nutrition, like, you know, and we've all been there. Someone even came up to Lauren in the gym recently and was like, oh, I see you wearing Advocare all the time, blah, blah. So what's like your 30-second story? And she was like, and how do you answer that? If somebody, you're walking around with your colors on, and I hope one of us will probably talk about that, and you're promoting and saying, oh, I'm a part of Advocare, I'm a part of this team, and somebody says, oh, I love your shirt, what's that? What are you gonna say? Right now in your mind, what's your answer? So practice, 30-second story. And so when you get into that conversation and you're able to ask questions with somebody and you're just talking, it's not about, oh, you know, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna, you know, throw Advocare in there. No, have a conversation with somebody, build a relationship, and it will naturally start to you know, evolve from there, and you'll be able to naturally and organically share Advocare with them. And then 3, introduce them to your sponsor. We don't use sponsor, but for the sake of the training, so that you understand the person who brought you to Advocare, introduce them when the timing is right. So I have in here that we need to qualify the prospect. So, it's not one of those things, hey, yeah, Advocare, great, Spark. You know what? You should get on the phone call with my friend Lauren. She can tell you everything. Now they're like, I don't know what's happening. Then we get on a call and they're like, I have no idea why I'm here. That is a very difficult situation to put everybody in. You don't want to come off salesy and awkward. You just came off salesy and awkward, right? So qualify them, talk with them. That's where the questions come in, and that's where you're sharing with them. And would you want to know more about this? And, are you interested in earning some supplemental income? And gosh, Advocare has brought this in and that. And the next step is to do this. The next step, I want you to talk with my friend Lauren. She's going to be able to explain it to you. I'm new to this. I think she can really help both of us in coming up with maybe some options or solutions for you. Great. Let me know when works for you. So qualify them. They talked about lips and shoe leather. So this kind of to wrap this up, what that means is lips, you're getting out talking to people. Shoe leather, you're getting in front of them. You're walking out shoe leather. You're walking in front of people. You're talking to them. That's what this takes. And if you're willing to put in a little bit of the grit work and stepping outside your comfort zone to do your one-on-one with people and just to get in front of people, however that may work for you and be organic in your day-to-day, that's what's going to start to produce the next step. So some do's and don'ts, I said, don't talk too much and not enough questions. So 90% of your conversation should be about them. Asking questions, how are you? Be interested in them. Lauren had said something that kind of stuck with me. Be more concerned with being interested than being interesting. We want to talk a lot about ourselves and what we know. Look at me. Look how much I know. Look at how I can talk about ingredients all day long. And nobody cares about that. But when you connect with them heart to heart and you want to know about them, especially around here, let's be honest, that's kind of not a common thing lately around, our society and all that. We want to talk a lot about what we know in our stuff and our life and throwing stuff out on Facebook about, whatever it is what's happening with us. But then we get in face-to-face conversation and you've stopped. You don't have a way to connect with people and you're not asking them about them. And so people aren't used to that either. And it's a breath of fresh air when someone's truly, when they say, how are you? And you really want to know the answer. It's not just a brush off and a question to ask because it's polite. You truly want to know, how are your kids doing? What are they doing? What sports are they in again? Oh my, that's so incredible. Ask those questions, dig into that relationship. And again, Advocare will become naturally a part of that. And then, let's see, I'm trying to skip through because I know that we're going a lot. Again, we could go on and on and on. So some good questions. I know we've all gotten into some situations where maybe they're using something else, or maybe they're signed up as a distributor for something else. I wouldn't necessarily count them out. It's not that, oh, you're using XYZ, well, forget it, you can never use Advocare. No, a lot of times things can blend really well together, or maybe it's not working for them and they're looking for another solution. So asking those types of questions. What have you used in the past? And was it Diane McDaniel was giving us some good questions. What are you looking for? What are you doing now to fill that gap? What have you used in the past? How are you liking the results that you're seeing from that? How are you feeling? If you're a distributor for something else, or they maybe know a loved one who's a distributor for something else, there's a lot more questions you got to ask. If you put them on the phone with somebody and they don't know that, and maybe you don't even know that, that's a really hard thing to navigate through. If they're saying like, well, my aunt sells such and such, she's one of my best friends, I'm probably going to do that. Now your person's on the phone with them like, hey, like, great, and you want to be supportive, and yeah, great, why are we on this call? It's just one of those things. So ask more questions and dig in deep. Diane McDaniel said you want to wow them. So this is a do. Wow them. This is why we spark people. You all, who here loves Spark? Who here, maybe everyone's raising their hand in here. So that's my point. You love Spark not because it was so, yeah, it's all right. because you felt good on it, because it tastes great, because you got a quick result. You want to wow people. If you give them Amplify AT, well, yeah, it's a great product. They're not going to feel it right away. If you give them an omega-3, great, it's not fishy. Like that's about it. So wow them, Slam, Spark, Performance Elite products, the pre-workout products are awesome. Those are things that you can use to wow people, and they're going to want to know more. Do follow up. She had it in, and we'll get to this, sorry. She had it in the success system. Following up is so important. None of this works if you don't follow up. People don't know what they don't know. How do you like it? How did you feel? I'd love to share more with you when you have 20 minutes. Take a genuine interest in all that they say. You don't want to come off salesy, then don't do the chin shake and nod. Blank stare through them. If you ask a question, it's because you do want to know the answer. If you're hearing their answers, and you're going to be able to navigate through that and help them through. And then I put, so when you set up a 3-way call, and this is segment into the 3-way calls, you want to make sure that the person actually has the time. So that's why we say 20 to 30 minutes. We've all been in situations before where they get into the call in 5 minutes and they're like, well, I gotta go. We haven't even gone into like our 30-second story or 2-minute story yet. And that there all of a sudden is like an awkward, like, okay, and you want to rush and you don't know what to, and then you're cut off and you forget to say things and the call's done. So make sure that the person you want to get on a call has the time, 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes it can be less, sometimes it can go a little more depending on their questions and their feedback, and that's fine. Make sure you have the time. Are you trying to squeeze us into a 15 to 20 minute window? That if you hang up, so this is where this comes into play, if you're the one who connected us and you hang up, the whole call is dropped. It's not, we'll stay on and we don't know that you're there or not there. You just ended the whole call. So again, find time that works for you as well. So here's a do on 3-way calls. Either text before the call or call your sponsor, the person you're going to put on the phone 5 minutes before, and give them the scoop on what you've shared so far, what they're interested in, the background on that person, and maybe some personal data that might be able to connect your sponsor or your upline to the person that you're putting on the call. You can't do any of that if you haven't asked all the right questions, right? So that's, again, where you need to do your part on the one-on-one. So just sharing that allows the person that you're putting on the phone to take their story and connect it back to them. So again, if they don't need weight loss, then yeah, I'll tell them about my weight loss, but I'm also going to emphasize the energy aspect of it. And now, the 3 to 4 days a week working out now, which I never did before, and then, the income aspect of things. When we get on the phone, we always share all of AdvoCare, even if it's just a little bit of a sprinkle of ideas that, we're earning some income and we're helping families. So there's times when you might hear, oh, don't share the income with them. Like, I just want to talk about products. We would be doing them a disservice. That's not fair. And there's been situations like that. And when we shared the income, interest was piqued. Wait, I didn't know you can earn income. Tell me more. So don't prejudge a situation. Let that organically happen. Don't force the conversation to go one way or the other. You're putting the third-party credibility on the phone in order to dig deeper, share more, do more for them, see where they lie on that. If it was all your way or the highway, then you would never use anybody and you would just stick with your one-on-ones, and who knows what would happen from there, right? Don't talk too much and ask enough questions, same thing. So if you're the person that's going to be doing a call for somebody, you want to ask a lot of questions in the beginning. And I even have in my journal, I write out a bunch of stuff that the person has told me about the person we're about to talk to. And then I have a whole list of questions. I might not get through all of those questions, but at least I'm going into a call with a lot of questions on my mind. And then as we're talking, I can, okay, now what next question? Because we get kind of hung up, oh, I don't know what next question to ask. Have those questions. And then I write everything that they answer. I'm writing all next to all the notes. So my paper looks like jumbled mess, but it makes sense to me. And I'm writing so that later when we talk and I'm sharing more, I can use some of the words that they've said. Well, I just want to help people. This is a perfect opportunity where I get to help others, and that's, how we can connect again with people. When you're casting vision on a call, we need to ask them enough so that we can steer our own story, relate more to the circumstances. So that's what we said. We need to talk about muting. And this is something, again, we could talk so much about, but you're putting somebody on a call with someone else in order to edify you, edify the company, and help and provide additional support. If you're talking over the person, I've had situations where they try to correct something that I've said, or, maybe talk about themselves in the call, that's not doing anything for anybody. Jenny Donnelly's 3-way training, and there's a YouTube video on it. She talks a lot about how it's basically it's disrespectful for you to get on and then start talking over the person that you just brought onto the call. So mute yourself, and I even you can preface this. Hey, so and so, this is so and so. I have like a little example. I explained a little bit about your goals, and I know she's going to give you some great information and insight. I'm excited for you to chat. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself out just so we don't talk over one another, but I'll pick up at the end. Thank you so much, and then we'll pick it right back. Awesome. Well, so nice to meet you. And we'll go right into questions. How are you? Oh, what do you do for work? And are you married? And we're just trying to lay the foundation and relax everybody and get comfortable, get to know each other. Again, building relationships. Don't try to force and steer the conversation. Let your sponsor, your upline handle that part of it. I'm getting off track. So mute. That's a great tool for you. It's also a time where you can sit with your journal and you can just start taking notes. We all do it. We still do. Even, Lauren, I know, is with her journal. She put someone on a call. She's taking notes. She's on mute. We all look at Lauren. We're like, she knows so much. And oh my gosh, she's still learning. She still puts herself on mute. She still is doing these things. So
and the way you learn the language of advocate and how to speak it is because you've been on so many 3-way phone calls and you've heard your person speak so many times, you just start to copy what they say.
Yeah.
That's the best training, like she said, is 3-way phone calls and sitting on mute is the best training you'll ever get.
Yeah.
Is hearing how they work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, putting yourself on mute. In one of the videos that's successful, they showed actually like a good way to do it and a not so good way to do it. And, it was really funny for everyone because we've all been there. And so, when we're talking and training, we all sat around, we're like, what are some mistakes that we made? And, what are some things that we learned through this process? So it's not, it's not one person doing this or that. We've all been there. But we also are open to learning and open to growing and doing it the right way. So the videos were hilarious. The woman's like not on mute and she's washing her dishes and you can hear the water running and she's playing. She's eating an apple in the room. I mean, we all have life, right? We all have our kids running around or doing whatever, or you have to jump in the car because you have to go somewhere or whatever. Put yourself on mute. Now nobody even knows what you're doing and it's totally fine. And now you get to listen and be a part of the conversation. So it's awesome. Don't surprise the person. We've had a couple calls where the person didn't even know why they were on the call. They didn't know what AdvoCare was. They didn't even hear their friend's story. That makes it very salesy and awkward for the person now to try to pick that up and try to go into all this stuff. Again, what is AdvoCare? You're not, 24 years and Drew Brees and this and this. It's not about that. It's just letting them know at least what, AdvoCare is a 24-year-old health and wellness company and it's allowed me to, and you go into your story. So at least they know something, not, no, I've never even heard of it. Okay, well, it's hard. Okay, so we talked about a good intro or a setup. You don't want to just say, hey, so-and-so, are you there? Great. Hey, so-and-so, are you there? Awesome. Yay. How do you come from that? So, we've talked about a good intro. This is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. We've talked a little bit about your goals and, she's just going to give you some insight and you share your story and, it's just exciting to be able to help you. That's, easy. Let's see. Sorry. My mouse is. Don't leave it open-ended. So this is a good one if you're conducting a call as well. And this is even for your one-on-ones. Let me know. Okay, that's not taking control of your business. That's leaving it very just loosey-goosey. And again, because you don't want to come off salesy, and I don't want to do a pitch, and I don't want to close, and this and that. It's not about that. Giving them some suggested action steps, specifically when we talk about three-way calls. So that, again, this is from the Jenny Donnelly training at Success School. Giving some action steps. Well, great, based on the call, based on what you guys just talked about. So awesome, it sounds like, you're maybe interested in a 24-day challenge, but your first step is gonna be, to think about some people maybe that you want to do this with, because it's always fun to have that accountability. And, you can get them just connected the same way that we did. If you're looking to start August 1st, awesome. Just so you want to order by 7/26 or whatever it is. I think it's 7/26, so that you get your bundle and we can, really support you through that prior and get you all prepped and ready to go for a good start. So give them some little things. Maybe they're like, I'm not sure, no problem. But maybe some suggested action steps is, we'll have my friend such and such is on the call. She can send you some information on, the products that we just talked about, and, maybe get back with her in 2 or 3 days after you've looked at everything and you've talked it over with your doctor, and, we can answer some more questions for you. Something. Don't just say, let me know. Don't just say, well, great, good talking with you. The other aspect too is, when you're sharing one-on-one, I'd love to share a little bit more with you. What's your email address? What's your phone number? Taking control. If you have any small business, you're not leaving it up to them. If you're a hairstylist, let's say, you're not going to say, oh, no, I cut hair, blah, blah, blah. Well, just call me if you ever want a haircut. You're going to say, let me get your information, so I'll follow up with you, and maybe we can set up an appointment. Same thing. Take control. It's email addresses I find are easier because people, it's less like committed. You can just email somebody. Okay, I'm almost done, I swear. So I'll leave it with this. They said that, we talk about 21 days to make a habit. That's actually totally incorrect, and it's based off an old 1950s principle, and it was applied really incorrectly. And so they say 90 is normal, 66 days to create a habit. Now, we're talking about anything, whether it's a challenge, whether it's clean eating, working out, whatever, but in the context of the business, perfecting or excelling in the details of things, you need to give yourself 66 days to create a habit, 234 days to solidify that habit as a lifestyle. If you come in toe dipping into this and say, well, we'll see what happens in 30 days, you are not giving yourself enough time to really learn through this process, what to say, how to have an excellent one-on-one, how to share your 30-second story, in the right context, in the right way. So 66 days to create a habit, 234 to solidify. If you're going to do this as a business, even if it's just part-time hobby distributor or a serious business builder, look at a long-term, maybe 236, I would say, okay, a year. I'm giving myself a year to really dig in, to learn this system, to learn what I need to do, and then I'll reevaluate at that time with my leader. This isn't like, 236 days. All right, well, it didn't really, I did a little, whatever, and it's not working, done. Really give it what you've got for 234 days or a year, and, plug into all of us, and we'll go from there. So, Lauren, did I forget anything, or?
No, here's a perfect thing with the one-on-one and two-on-one. So the reason we're emphasizing these so much is because that's all you guys have to do right now is share your story, with as many people as possible and connect them to one of us. Now for the two-on-one, like Kirsty went into a lot of like what we would do on the call. You don't have to worry about that yet, because a good point is there's probably only 4 people in this room right now who should be doing the 3-way phone calls. The rest of you should just be putting people on those calls. So really what you need to know is how to use the merge call button and the mute button. And that's it. That's 2 M's.
Yeah.
Mute and merge. That's your only job right now is to mute and merge, because you should be using at least somebody who is a silver and above on your calls, because they're the ones that have the 1 year plus experience. They have fine-tuned their skills in this. They know how to do a three-way phone call. So just because you started and you think you got a great story and you're making a couple $100, it's impactful, but you haven't dug, your story is not too far beyond where they're even coming in. So use somebody with some awesome credibility to really come in and do the three-way phone call for you. So don't worry about that yet. We don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do a three-way phone call. You don't have to for a really long time, unless you get to silver really fast, and then we'll train you on how to do those. But Jenny, I want you to share.
I'm always late to come and early to leave. For example, in my setting.
So let me move over. So the one-on-one and the three-way phone call, just focus on that, on the success system, and that's really it. You know, share your story and plug them into one of us for a phone call. Jenny, I'll have you. I'll take the social media training online for you.
Bye.
Bye.
He's on my team.
Thank you for representing the males about
There's so much still here.
Oh, great.
upstairs.
And Jenny would actually be good at the end because it's like she wanted to leave us with just some inspirational things she took from Success School. And
Yes, so I'm so sorry that I can't stay, but actually this is a great lead into one of the things that really stuck out in my mind that I brought home from Success School, and it kind of is a perfect example of why I have to leave right now. So one of our great leaders, Deborah Fizzer, at the end of Success School on the last day, she had out this beautiful big glass vase on the table. And she had rocks and she had a few other things. And of course, we didn't really know where she was going with it yet. But as she started talking about Advocare and how we all have different lives and, you know, jobs and husbands and wives and kids and all these responsibilities and all these places to go, and how does Advocare fit into your life and how it can. So as she was talking about, she started adding rocks to the vase and sharing all those things, your job and this and that and all these things that are piling up in the space. And then she had a picture of like some sand or salt or something, and she said, you know, and then life happens and all this stuff comes pouring down on you and it just kind of seeps into those cracks. And then comes Advocare, and she pulled out the pitcher of water and she poured it over the rocks, and Advocare the water just kind of seeped into all the cracks and all the little niches in your life. And that's exactly what Advocare can do for you. It's what it's done for me. It's what it's done for a lot of us in this room. I'm a full-time special ed teacher. I have 2 kids. My husband works full-time. But I've learned to get on the phone, you know, on my way to pick up my kids from school or to pick up them from the hockey rink. I've learned to fit in this day today when I drop my son off at hockey practice. Now my husband has to go to a memorial service this morning, unfortunately, and I have to go back and get my kids. So I had to fit it in, but I don't want to not come at all. I don't want to make an excuse that I can't show up this morning because I have too much on my plate. I could come for 45 minutes, you know. A couple other things that really stood out because, you know, this is a motivating business. It's you know, advocates who care for people, and that to me is huge. It's something that really drives me. I got going with Advocare initially to lose some weight. I still have my own, you know, fitness and weight loss goals, and it's a slower process for me because in some ways I've gotten to love so much about what Advocare stands for that I've taken a little bit off of myself and I'm trying to help other people. I definitely need to lead by example and make sure that I'm still working towards my own goals. But I have fallen in love with helping people and getting on the phone and coaching people and inspiring them. So a lot of the stuff that stood out to me were some of the inspirational things. And so I just wanted to share a couple more of those. You know, Kirsty was talking about how sometimes you're uncomfortable. I'm shaking up here too, you know, we're not necessarily used to. I'm used to talking to 3 and 4-year-old special ed kids that I adore. So a room full of adults isn't my thing, but eagerly do uncomfortable stuff until it becomes comfortable was one of the things that I bubbled on my notes. So just keep doing the uncomfortable stuff until the shaking stops. And, you know, the first 3-way call I did this summer, I called Ryan and I was like, I need a pep talk before I get on the phone. Like, I have to be the leader. And then I closed myself into my son's room. I had my 24-day challenge packet out in front of me like I didn't know what it was or what I was going to talk about. I had my notebook and all this stuff. And as the summer's gone on, I've challenged myself to say yes to more of those calls instead of leaning on Ryan, so that as I go back into the school year, I'm more comfortable fitting that into, a car ride where I'm not having to sit in my son's room with the door shut and shaking. So now I'm able to be a little more comfortable on those phone calls. A couple things just that they shared, like Kirsty again said, lips and shoe leather, just talking to people, getting out there. A lot of times, a lot of people referred back to Charlie Regis, the founder of our company, and said, if people come to him and they would talk and, oh, this isn't working, I'm not as good as Ryan is at this, or, it's not working, this isn't working, this business is not taking off for me. And he would just look at them and say, you're not talking to enough people. Keep talking. Go talk. Go share. Just get out there. Don't be afraid to share with people and listen to what their needs are. It's really as simple as that. To just have a conversation with people and listen. We were laughing because a lot of us in our Uber car rides from airport to hotel or hotel to airport, we all came home going, I need to call my Uber driver because I was wearing my Advocare shirt and he asked what all these people are doing here, and we shared a Spark with him. He's like, I need energy and I need money. And I'm like, well, I'll call you then. Let me get your phone number. So we did. We exchanged phone numbers, and I have an email from another one. So follow up. So the fortune is in the follow-up, though. I can't just have those numbers in my phone and talk about the Uber driver that needed more energy. Gotta call him. Anyway, let me find a good one to leave you guys with. I think one of the things that, here's one. One thing they said, again, we're all in different avenues in this business right now. Some of us maybe aren't even interested in the business yet. Maybe that's why you're here. I was not interested in the business at all in the beginning. In fact, I wasn't even interested in talking to Ryan. But 2 years later, here I sit. So, you need to never give up on people.
Nudging.
Yes, the nudging. I like the nudging. But comparing yourself to other people and their journeys is not what this is about at all. Everybody goes at their own pace. Everybody has that water seep into their vase at different paces and in different ways. And so they said comparison is the thief of joy. Do not compare yourself to other people and their journeys, because everybody's is different. And if you just keep working at it and it's something that you're passionate about, it will work. Mm-hmm. It will work for you too. And then lastly, I just wanted to share Todd Cash, who has been a part of the business since the very beginning. He closed out successful, and it was, for me, the bow on the package. I mean, it just, you're filling this box, this gift all weekend long with all this information, all these great things and product information and all this stuff. And then he just kind of wrapped it all up for us. And he got up and said, the difference between being successful and being very successful is like this much. You can be very successful if you just apply certain things to your life and you believe in what you're doing. He said that some of the things you need, 4 things: a clear purpose and vision for what you want to accomplish, willingness to sacrifice. This was one for me. Am I going to get on a phone call with someone, or am I going to watch The Bachelor?
Obviously, The Bachelor.
Obviously, I recorded The Bachelor.
That's how I do it.
But definitely, thinking if you wanna be successful, you have to get rid of the time wasters, he called them. He used to love to stop on his way home and hit a bucket of golf balls. And when he decided to purposefully pursue Advocare in his business, he drove past the golf course on the way home, and he got on a phone call instead. So you have to, if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to work for it.
Now he's got all the time in the world and by himself.
Now he owns a golf course. So again, willingness to put in the work, and then a commitment to personal development. And I think that really tells it all. Are you willing to look at yourself a little more deep? What do you want out of this? What are you looking for? And really applying the principles that Advocare stands for, which is just incredible. If you ever get a chance to look at the 10 guiding principles for Advocare, you will fall in love. So anyways, thanks you guys. I'm sorry I have to run. Enjoy the rest of the training. Okay, bye.
Jenny, that was awesome. And you know, Jenny's the perfect example of somebody that has gone through the success system almost unwillingly at points, but has grown in the entire process. And it's not by luck that she earned this trip to Hawaii. It's by applying all of this and really staying committed to her people and her purpose. And it's been so fun to watch. So thank you for sharing that. And you know, just to
Thank you.
and to complete out the success system, I'm gonna have the other two ladies like wrap up the end too, but I'm gonna tell you this wheel goes around and round for a reason. So our one-on-one is what Kirsty focused on, and the two-on-one, like that's all we want you guys doing right now. But when you get people really excited, you're gonna bring them to a mixer, and that's what we have at our house on Mondays. This was a fun one. This was like our holiday mixer. A mixer can be 4 people. A mixer can be 40 people. A good mixer is probably 8 to 10. So you still have like that, you know, interaction with people. But we do the mixers for you guys. So how easy is it for you to just to bring some people to this? I think most of you were the result of a mixer. You know, you got in and you heard stories and you were inspired. You don't have to worry about those yet. We have them for you. So if you can do 1 and 2 and keep bringing people to our house on Mondays, we'll serve them the Spark, we'll do the goodie bags, we'll do the talking. You just get to invite a friend with you. But the important part is you have to do steps 1 and 2 first, because it's hard to say, hey, come to my friend Lauren's house, who's a complete stranger on Monday, right? But if you have me on a phone call on Tuesday, you know, and I can say, hey, next Monday, I'm having people over, I'd love to meet you. Kathy is a perfect example. We just did a 3-way phone call 2 days ago. And I was like, I know this sounds crazy, but we're having a training on Saturday. She's like, I'll go. And then Kathy, other Kathy was committed to bringing her here. That would have been a lot harder for Kathy to bring the other Kathy without ever having a talk. Confusing. You got that, Kathy?
All the
Kathy.
So
That's why we work in that order, because if somebody on number 2 spot gets to invite somebody to their house, it just makes a lot more sense. So mixers are so fun, so important to all of this. The last step was successful, and or a large event. I'm going to talk about the next large event we have. I've updated this, you guys. This all starts with 1 person, and it's not me, it's the person way before us that started sharing with 1 other person, and then they shared with more people and more people. This just so happens to be some of our favorite amazing people on our team, but this is crazy. And then there's teams of teams of teams all within this, and it's going to just keep growing. These events, you cannot put a price tag on them. Those that went, they understand what this means. It's hard to bottle up, like I said, but we just came back last weekend and we're all just like, because that's what this does to you. So I know a lot of you couldn't make this, and it's hard, and it's a big commitment. I did not go my first year. Like I said, nothing happened my first year. I didn't do the success system. I didn't go to success school. Success. I didn't do any of the things attached to that, so I didn't have success. As soon as we started doing this is what starts to happen. The next one we have coming up is ad donation. You guys, because are still growing here in California, we don't have a lot of big things to plug into. So when we have something coming to Long Beach, California, ours is January 21st.
Who has their tickets?
This is what this is for. If you want to do after this, besides coming up with your 30-second story, your list, buy your tickets to ad donation. They're $39. We're going to go as a whole group of us. You're going to hear stories. It's impactful. You get to hear the heartbeat of the company. You get to feel it. You get to meet corporate. You get to see some of us up there talking, and you start to be like, oh my gosh, this is way bigger than I thought it was. People walk out of events, and that's when things change. It's just, Advocare is all driven off emotion. And if you're going off the same couple stories you hear all the time, or you're going, you're not filling your cup with the awesomeness that is this company, you don't have anything to pour back into people. This is the ultimate cup filler. So if you guys can do it, it's just 1 day. You don't have to have travel arrangements or anything like that. We're just all piling up to Long Beach together in January. And you're like, yeah, it's so far from now. Get your ticket, because first of all, the price is awesome. And second of all, you're committing to yourself. Like Kirsty was saying, that's more than 60 days from now. That's more than 90 days from now. Good. Like you still need to be in it then, to feel this. So let's all get our tickets, because if we as leaders start to have our tickets, then people on our team are gonna grab them too, so.
Can I ask something really quick? We talked to Brock White the other day, and he said that you build your business event to event. So Advonation to Successful, or even Advonation to Ladies Alive to Successful, Successful to the next Advonation. So that's where our mentality is now. If we have, okay, Successful just ended, now we're working to event to event to event, and you're constantly wanting to put people into these events so they can feel like she said the heart
You have
of
to, like, this is just, it's just how these things work, and I need them at the timing that they so happen to pop up, you know, when Successful comes up, we're ready for it, because we need it right then. Advocate is very smart about this stuff, so I can bet you when Advocation's rolling around is right when you guys are gonna need something like this to kind of
We'll all be doing
focus.
challenges.
Right.
Yes,
oh my
gosh,
gosh.
I wanted to do a training on social
Geez, can we,
media.
everybody has to go. Can we like do
Yeah.
this part 2 or
Yeah,
something?
let me do, well, do you wanna, we only have 5 minutes each. I said an hour and a half.
You know,
so we're
I would
good.
rather like do mine like when I can spend time on it. So
Okay,
or we could do a video or something.
okay.
I just don't want to keep everybody here, and I
Okay.
need
Do
some
you wanna
time.
do yours?
So if you want.
Go
Why
ahead.
don't you guys share?
All right.
Okay, Leslie's gonna wrap this up, and I'll do you know what? I'll do a social media training virtually on our Facebook group. I'll go live for that.
All right, I will say with social media, look at Lauren's page. Lauren is a perfect example of how to integrate the lifestyle into your daily life and not make it look salesy.
Apple barfing.
Yeah, advo barfing, I'm guilty of it because I get super excited about stuff. I'm like, people want to know. And then sometimes I pull them down. It's like, okay, they didn't want to know all of that, right? So find people that are leaders that you want to be like and you want to be friends with, and just look at what they're doing and look at how often they are advo barfing or not, because it's not. Like, I remember you guys posted about the 24-day challenge. I'm like, you made it here. And that was it, because it's part of your life, and people already know that you do it, and they know.
And
to
like
ask
right
you.
now, my feed is like so advo because of being
Successful.
tagged for Successful. I am not making another Advocare post for like a month. Because
Right.
you have to understand, we are excited. You're only reaching out to people, like when you're getting likes and stuff, it's the people in Advocare who are responding. You have to think to
15
the new
people all
person.
will like it.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yes,
else does.
you have to think to the new person. It is not, your feed is not to say, oh my gosh, the diamonds in Advocare are liking my post. That's great, but they're already diamonds in Advocare.
Yes.
You know, that's not who our target is. You're wanting this to be still great for people. So we'll get on that, but I'm gonna do a whole thing on that because social media is here to stay, so we need to do it the right way. But Leslie's gonna kind of wrap up some, you can share too. We've got, I said an hour and a half, so you're good.
Do you want to go first?
No.
You can take the box here. All right. So Lauren asked me to talk about goals and to give a brief bio of why the goals fit into my life. So for those of you who don't know me, I am just turned 40. I have twins. They're almost 9 years old, and I work full time. And I do have flexibility where I work from home, but it's because I travel. And I remember during my first 24-day challenge, I was on the road. I mean, not that the 24-day challenge lasted this long, but 8 out of 9 weeks back and forth to New Jersey. And then when I come home, it's soccer, rugby, drama, whatever it is, it's fitting mom life and wife life and doggy owner life and everything else into having a career that I value a lot. Advocare finds us at different times, right? And our goals ebb and flow with that. I actually taped my vision board and I did it for a purpose. I didn't glue it because honestly, my goals with Advocare have changed. And the flexibility that this company allows us to have is what's so important to me. So Lauren and my husband knew each other a long time. She had shared Advocare with me, had dropped off amazing samples that I unfortunately never tried.
I mean, if you put Ziploc bags of white powder on someone's doorstep, I thought maybe she trusted me enough to shake them into some water or something.
Exactly, and I didn't. And I let them sit there, and I'm like, oh, they're probably expired. And then, again, fortune is in the follow-up. Lauren had me on her list of people that she wanted to work with and to get to know better as friends, more importantly. And we knew we got along, and so when the timing was right, it hit. And the timing for me, honestly, was that I had been working my job. I was tired. I wasn't feeling motivated by my job, and I was traveling a lot. And I was exhausted and not getting fulfillment of helping other people. I work in hospitals. I love being out in hospitals and talking to patients and surgeons and impacting their lives. And the job function that I was doing then wasn't giving me that. And, again, had the salary, had all that. I originally thought, honestly, I'm the first one to admit, I was inspired by the fact that this can be a real full-time job, full-time income. And when Lauren shared with me once her income, I thought, this is a little bit more than some change and stuff like that.
She used to think, oh, cute.
Yeah, I was like,
Lauren,
that's a cute
cute.
little thing. Cute. Lauren, keep sparking people. I don't even know what that means. Enjoy your magic mommy juice. I don't get it. And now I'm a believer because I've had 3 and it's only 9:45. So I will be asleep later at some point. But no, and that's what it was. It fit in. And so at the time, my job was a little slow. I had a little bit of a break. I'm medical education. I got off of a big event. I purposely made my list. And I talked to people about it. I have never tried a Spark before. I had never tried a product. But I talked to people about the fact that Lauren and Greg, and I trusted them because of the relationship that my husband had with them and because of the relationship that I had, because she never barked on social media either. Like, I liked the lifestyle. So I shared it. We got a group of people together to do the first 24-day challenge. I did it. My goals were just to detox and to clean up and see what all the hype was about and feel it myself. And I also talked to people about the business side, people who I knew would be really good at sharing it, either because they understood the model of this type of a business, or because they had a passion for helping others, because you don't want a salesy person, and that they wanted it for themselves, and that I knew that they would evolve and grow, and that sharing it would become natural. And so that was it. I was intentional. I had time, I had hours, and I devoted to it. And thank goodness I did, because I did sacrifice, and I committed to it, and I grew a great team of great people. And some people are still doing it, and some people are ebbing and flowing in their life. Like right now, I just got a new boss. I have great responsibilities and a lot of excitement happening with work for me. But I've also made a choice, because I don't want to move to New Jersey. I was offered that. And I don't want to do that. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm in a very comfortable spot with Advocare, but I'm inspired to do more with it today. But it fits. It fits into 15-minute increments. Like Jenny was saying, it can be a drive. It can be carving out a lunch hour. Kirsty's getting on a call with me next week. It's like, this is a half an hour lunch call. And thinking about who you can truly help for different reasons. It's not always about somebody who needs to lose weight. It's about a mom whose child has autism, and I'm giving her energy and hope right now. And I was at her house yesterday for 15 minutes. And that's what it takes. And that's what I will say is, make your list thinking about people who you can help. Get to know the products, because it's not just about a 24-day challenge. It's not just about Spark, because not everybody likes caffeine. M&S, the pills, there's a lot of them. But quite frankly, I will tell you, when I don't take them, I don't feel as good. So be a product of the product. Share what you love, but listen and know the other products that are out there to share with people and have it fit. You don't need to sell somebody a $200 program. It might be, biocharge, because they work out and they've heard about aminos, BCAAs, all of that. Just have it fit with people comfortably within their budget. And again, be intentional. And that's all I can share is it will come. Like right now, it's funny. I was clamoring because I saw the goal. And I was like, this is my goal. I want this. And I wasn't as patient as I should have been at the beginning. And I've learned to be a lot more patient because I'm satisfied. Like, I'm happy with my day job. I'm happy with my Advocare family and the fact that I get to share this. And right now it's fun and it's exciting. And quite frankly, these are the times to plant the seeds, because summer's a little tricky. Yeah. People are traveling. They want to drink their Mai Tais. They want to do all of that. But if you can give them hope for what the future is, and they trust you, come back to school, come January, they're here and they're with you and they trust you and they respect you and they know that you have their best interests in mind. And they're right. Put us to work there are those of us who will, like, we're committed to this and we'll put time on our calendars and help you all grow your businesses because it's fun and it's rewarding. And that's the thing that keeps me coming back, is when I get the phone call and the text of people saying, look what I ate for lunch, look what I'm doing now. This is changing my life. And for me, some of it seems second nature and it's not. And there's so much in this world of health and wellness and friendship because we get to pick who we work with. So again, Advocare is amazing because you can be flexible, but you have to think of your goals. And again, like, they can change. My kids were actually helping me with this. So they were cutting out pictures and magazines because I don't take time for my family. And I've been working and I've been traveling for work. And that's what Lauren and I talked about. I've traveled coast to coast and I don't like to get on planes again. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I have, even sitting at a pool, which we're doing today, we're making that vision happen. It doesn't have to be 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now. It can be the fact that I need a backyard remodel, and quite frankly, I'm able to pay cash for that because of being intentional by sharing the business and the opportunity. We paid cash to have concrete poured. It might not sound like a lot to other people, but that's a huge deal to me. And it's being able to create an environment where I want to sit with my family and have dinner and share life with them. And just little things like that where, you know, the diamond life means different things for other different people. There's people who their aspirations for the next year or two are to be diamonds in Advocare. For me, it's about being whole and sparkly and having fun and sharing life with my friends and helping them all succeed. And even sitting around the table and being home. And that's what I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on creating a home, being the wife and the mother that I sometimes put my job first for, and also sharing experiences and walking the beaches with my friends, with my Advo friends, with my family, going on hikes, multi-generational, just living life. And I remember this, feeling better doing it. That was the key for me with Success School, is that it's, again, 2040 Challenge is amazing. 66 days, amazing. Whatever you want to make of it is incredible. But it's also about living life smartly and feeling better as we age. And I'm older than a lot of people in this room, not as old as some. But
She called you out.
And that's exactly it. Is that Karen, for those you don't know, Karen Lopez here, it's about feeling better every day. And some people, my parents, for example, they don't want to drink Spark. They're afraid of it. But by golly, I know that my dad and his aches and his joints, pain and all of that, I know that I can help him at 72 age more gracefully and have more time to take walks with my children and with me. That's it. So goals. She's like, all right, throw this dream board at her. Spark morning.
Like, honestly though, like what Leslie is sharing right now, like you don't even have to know what Advocare is and you would get behind all of that. So that is how you share Advocare with people, like we all have the same 2040 challenge. We all have the same products. The only thing that makes it stand out and why someone would want to join you is when you share it like that. So just remember that, because that's huge. And thank you, Leslie.
And I have had a lot of Sparks, but I've been up for like 6 hours.
Do you want to wrap up?
I don't want to rush through it. It's okay.
It's okay. We got 5 minutes. She wants to end on something that's really good, because at the end of the day, this is all about you guys, and we want to get you guys wins. It's so important for you to understand the message in all of this, and she didn't hear the no. It's no, not right now. So right now,
I just feel bad.
Does
Okay.
everyone want to stay for more?
Yeah, I just feel bad. Okay, you guys, this is hour 6 of the training. I hope you guys are still enjoying this.
we'll wrap it up. Ryan wants to talk about getting you guys wins, because Advocare is nothing unless we are helping other people get to where they want to be. And it's so important for you to understand that when we're talking about our goals and dreams, yes, we love that, and we want that for you guys. So Ryan's going to kind of talk about.
Well, and that's just it. Giving others a win that matters to them is probably the most important thing that we do. I'm going to open with a quick story.
in an effort not to put down any other company, I will leave this very XYZ company. My husband was talking to a guy at the gym about Avocare, and he said, well, I'm really weary of those types of businesses. And he said, well, tell me why. So it's good. He's asking questions. Well, this gentleman was approached in the locker room with an envelope of cash. And he said, no, this is a great story, guys. This is new. You haven't even heard this. And the guy said, hey, man, my wife's a XYZ distributor. She really needs to get to the next level. I need you to take this and go sign up under her and be a distributor, and that's going to help her out. And this guy's like, oh, this is so shady, right? It's like, I feel really uncomfortable. And he goes home and he's like, I have an envelope full of cash. What do I do with this? He goes and looks, and as a distributor, if you want to get paid, you need your social security number. Well, this is really weird to someone who has no idea what this is, no idea what any of the businesses are. So he's like, I'm not doing this. The lady called it, said, all you need to do is sign up under me, put your social security number in. Freaked him out. Not the way to do it. That is not getting a win for anybody except for Captain, whatever their leadership level is in that particular company. But my whole point is that doesn't help anybody but that person, and that is the absolute wrong way to do this. So, illustrating what not to do is something that's helpful. It's insane. I was like, that is a real story? That's insane. Okay, so the other part of what not to do is avo barfing. We've gone over this a lot. Like, you need to listen. This is actually my first point of what to do. If somebody tells you that they're a tired mom, you don't want to be like, so this is how you get to advisor. Okay, it's really important. You need to invest $1,400. They'd be like, what? I just told you I was tired. Like, all I want is a solution. So that's a huge part, listening to them, not, telling your story, me. Nobody cares. They want to know what's in it for them. And that's not them being rude. It's just we're trying to help people. You'll hear this phrase a lot. A lot of these are recurring themes that come up over and over in different Avocare trainings. So I have that in my notes too. Be interested, not interesting. Care. If you ask a question, care what they have to say. Solve their problems. That's what we're here for. You kind of sit back and you tell them the 4 ways to be involved with Avocare. Do you want to be a retail customer? That's awesome. I have Spark for you. I can help you. Do you want to be a distributor? It will save you some money. That's fantastic. If that fits their goals, their needs, their budget, fantastic. Let's share that with them. Let's get them that win. Hobby distributor. Not everybody wants to get to the 40%. Not everybody wants to do this as a business, and that's okay. We love people where they're at, no matter what. So you know what? They're happy at 25%. Let them be there. Let them be happy. And the last part, the business builder, if they want to do that, lock arms with them and take off. Give the people your time that want it, and spend the majority of your time helping the people who ask for it. Just again, this is all about a business of asking questions, and some of those that I wrote down that stood out to me. What are your goals? And then listen, okay? Here's what I see for you. After you hear it, like maybe they say, what, I'm really tired. I have 10 pounds I want to lose. I'm just feeling really run down. Okay, you know what? I've heard you say this. Let's just say, for the sake of example, the 24-day challenge will be amazing for you. It's going to help you get that last bit of weight off. It's going to give you the energy that you're looking for. How's that sound to you? And really paint that picture for them so that they can see it for themselves. I'm going to give you a solution to your problem and what you're looking for. What are you comfortable with? Budget, time frame, okay? If somebody says, I have $100 in my bank account, you're not gonna be like, well, you should probably borrow money from someone and get it back. Kind of essential, otherwise you're not gonna succeed, sorry. Like, no, you wanna tell them, okay, let's start with Spark, okay? Or, let's say they have stomach issues or something. Let's start with a probiotic and a fiber and go from there. You're really gonna listen to what is gonna make sense for them, for their budget and their time frame. Let's see. Again, that vision painting, the goals, everything is so huge. Like if you do have somebody that says, okay, I want to do this as a business, you help them, you get them to advisor, but you also paint that bigger picture. Okay, once we get you there, like let's work on that rookie bonus. What could $500 mean for you and your family? I mean, that's huge. Paint that picture. What, you could pay for a birthday party. You could pay for groceries. You could, go on that little vacation that you guys have been wanting to do. If they see that and you help them paint that picture, it's going to make their purpose that much stronger. And them knowing that you're willing to work with them to get there is a huge part of that too. So let's see. Write down your goals together. So I forget what the percentage is of how much more achievable your goals are if you write them down, but do it. I mean, Kirsty has a blackboard in her kitchen that she's checking things off, and it's huge. It's the power of seeing that every day, and visualizing your goals, actualizing them, writing them down is going to make them that much more likely to happen. So write them down with your team. Do that for sure. Okay. Set an achievable timeline for their win. Okay, if somebody says, I want to lose 50 pounds, don't be like, fantastic, 20-40 challenge done. Like, no, that's not going to happen. If they say, I want to earn $5,000 a month, that's going to change my life or bring me home with my kids, great. Don't promise them that that's going to happen a month from now. So achievable timelines, realistic timelines, setting goals with them that make sense and are, going to happen in a due amount of time. That's going to make them feel better. Be their biggest cheerleader. That's the other thing. If somebody's only goal in Advocare is to get to the 25% discount level, you do backflips when they get there. And if that's what they want, you cheer them on, and you are as happy for them as they are for themselves. You walk away. Don't be like, but don't you want 30? What about 40? No, it's not what they want. So cheer them on, be respectful of their goals, and just be excited for them. Yeah, it just kind of goes along the same thing. Celebrate that win with them. And one thing that stops me, this isn't a me business, it's a we business. So you're doing it with them. You're helping them achieve their goals. You're celebrating when they get them. And this isn't about us, you guys. Like, get others their win. That's my final thing that I have on here. Be kind, be encouraging, and help others get their wins.
Awesome. And Ryan summed up like the culture of our team so much. There, and I won't say not all team, the spirit of Advocare is that, but our team has been forever one that celebrates a 25% discount just as much as they do someone who reached their 3-star goal pin, because we just want people to be celebrated at all points of Advocare. Because if someone didn't do that for me when I first started, I probably would have not grown, at the pace I wanted to within this company. Because if someone was like, Lauren, you got to get to advisor, you got to do this, you got to, I would have been like, that's not what I want right now, So someone celebrated the points that we were comfortable at and what we wanted. And guess what? When you do that, people's goals grow. They know that you're not going to push them. They know you genuinely just want them to be where they're happy. And
it's not about you, and it's not about an ulterior motive that you have. It's about helping other people get their win.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, even the goals on my board or whatever, they're not just my goals. Yeah, I have, pay off debt on there, but I have, we have like Jacqueline, she wants to get to advisor. So that is a top goal on my board. I love other people's goals just as much as if they were my own.
And that's, if you're a leader, write down your team's goals too. That's another huge part. Know your purpose and know your whole team's purpose. Why are these people doing this? Does someone want to come home with their kids? Does somebody need help paying their mortgage? Does someone need out of debt? Their purpose should drive you too. Again, it's the heartbeat of our company culture. It's caring about people, and it's wanting other people to succeed even more than you want yourself to succeed. And that's what this is all about.
that was awesome. Thank you guys. We did some trainings online. I did a few live on the Facebook group. I'm going to do that for social media on like Tuesday, so you guys can see that, because we are a very social media driven team. There are teams in Advocare have been here for 20 plus years. They didn't have it, so it's not as big of, they're trying, but sometimes I look at what they're doing like, oh, they're not using social media the right way yet, so it's a big part of our team. So I want to make sure we're kind of all on the same page with this and representing this company well, because I'm sure you all see people in your social media stream that you might even love Advocare, but you see the way that they're sharing it and you're like, whoa, so I want to get all on the same page with this for you guys too. So I'm going to do that on Tuesday, but really the main point of all of this is, get to your purpose, write out your list of people you want to start helping, plug into things, because
Show up.
Like Leslie was saying, like, you have to make some sacrifices. They're worth it. Like, if you just show up, like, even if you come to Monday Mixers and you don't bring someone new with you, you're there and you're engaging and you're in a positive culture that's going to shoot you out that door and at least, help you talk a little bit more to people that week. So if you're not constantly filling your cup, that's how you fizzle out. And they always say the people in Advocare who don't continue to do well in Advocare are the ones who just quit on themselves and they don't stick and stay. if you stick and stay and you do those small daily habits, you will absolutely get to wherever you want to be in advocare. And to not get, you have to stay patient. You know, this isn't so-and-so got to silver in a month. Oh my gosh, I gotta get there.
They're looking
They're
at
looking at the
screen.
screen.
The rest of mine is training. It's really
We're
good.
good though.
Don't cheat.
Bye.